sixth graders. Today we are going to be learning about integers. So in your introduction, you learned that negative numbers and positive numbers are both shown on a number line. Well, these numbers are actually called integers. So we are going to talk about a couple different types of numbers today, and we're going to look and see how integers work and how positive and negative numbers work together and like what their meaning is. So the first word that we have today is the word positive. So positive numbers are all the numbers that you've been working with in elementary school. These are numbers that are bigger or greater than 0. So these numbers are greater than 0. Okay, so they have more value than 0. And they can be written with a plus sign or without. Okay, so for example, they could be like plus 2 or just a regular 2. You can write them either way. Okay, the next word that we're going to look at is the word negative. So negative numbers are less than 0. So we have negative numbers. And some of you may have some experience with negative numbers, but most students come to middle school with very little experience or understanding around negative numbers. So these ones are less than 0 and have a negative sign. And that negative sign looks like this. It has a dash in front of it. For example, it would be like negative 2, that little dash in front. Both positive and negative numbers are actually integers. So both positive and negative numbers, let's go back to negative. So negative is less than 0, and it has that negative sign. Okay, and the word integers. Integers is a really special number because integers are whole numbers and their opposites, which means the negatives. So integers are positive and negative numbers that don't have any fractions or any decimals. So integers is our word, integers, and these are positive and negative numbers without decimals or fractions. So just a regular run-of-the-mill number that doesn't have a fraction or a decimal. So we call these integers because they're positive and negative numbers. For example, so let's do an example. For example, I could have I could have negative 2, 3, negative 8. These are all integers. Okay, so let's talk about what integers mean and like where they are. So if we had integers, and it told us to graph an integer, we would be looking at a number line. So let's say that it says to graph negative 4 and its opposite. Okay, well, the opposite of negative 4 is a positive 4. So we're going to graph both a negative 4 and a positive 4. And the way that we graph this is by putting it on a number line. So we're going to make a number line. And number lines are created by putting 0 in the middle. And then we're going to count spots. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a positive 5. And then we also have below 0. That's a negative 5. The further away from 0 you are, the smaller the number. So this is negative 4, negative 3, negative 2, and then negative 1. So if you look at 0, and then you go one spot from 0, you're in the 1 space, either positive 1 or a negative 1. This side is less than 0. This side is greater than 0. So these are our negatives, and these over here are the positives. So if we want to graph negative 4, we would put a dot on negative 4 because it's 1, 2, 3, 4 spots from 0, 4 jumps, right? So negative 4 is less than 0. If we wanted to graph positive 4, positive 4 is actually in the opposite direction. It's moving to the right 1, 2, 3, 4 places. This is positive 4. And positive 4 is greater because it's on the right. So if we go to the right, we're getting bigger. So this is our bigger side, so greater. This side of the number line is less than or lesser than 0. Okay, so let's do another graph. Let's do another graphing of a number. Let's say I need to graph negative 10 and its opposite. Okay, so we're going to first graph negative 10. So negative 10, we're going to draw our number line. Again, 0's in the middle. And to get to negative 10, we're going to do 10 jumps, but we need lines. 3, 4, 5. So there's negative 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's negative 10. Do you see how negative 10 is farther than 5 from 0? It's further away. So this number, negative 10, is a smaller number, or it's lower or below 0 compared to negative 5. Up here, there's a positive 5, and here's a positive 10. So let's go ahead and graph negative 10 first. So negative 10 is going to have 10 jumps. There's 5, 10 jumps, and we're going to put a dot on negative 10. So we jumped 5 spots and got to negative 10. Over here, we're going to jump to the opposite, and the opposite is a positive 10. So I'm going to jump, here's 5, 10 jumps, and I'm going to put a dot on positive 10. So I'm the same distance from 0, which we call it absolute value, but negative 10 is less than positive 10. So negative 10 is less because it's on the left. Ten is greater because 10 is on the right, or positive 10. Okay, so now I'm going to turn my page just so that we have some more space to work. And we're going to talk about, we've graphed and we've done the opposite integer, I want to talk about well, actually, let's do a try it because you haven't done a try it yet. Okay, so here's a try it. I want you to graph 7 and its opposite. Okay, so go ahead and hit pause right now so you don't hear me, and then come back when you are ready. Okay, so first we need to draw a number line. 0 is always in the middle. It's the home base. It's 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here's 5. And it wants me to graph a positive 7. And its opposite. So I'm going to start with positive 7 first. So here's 5 jumps, 6, 7 jumps. So right here, that is positive 7. Okay, but now it says it's opposite. Well, the opposite of positive 7 is 7 jumps away from 0, going in the opposite direction, below 0. So this one is actually negative 7. So negative 7 is less. 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to graph. Here's my dot for negative 7 because I did 7 jumps to the right, left. Up here, I did 7 jumps to the right. So this right here is negative 7. All right, how did you do on your graphing? How did you do? Remember, we always start at 0 and then jump. Okay, here is another problem that I want to look at. So let's say that we have some words and we want to identify what that integer is. So this is like identify the integer. All right, so let's say that I have 30 degrees below 0. So if I have 30 degrees below 0, that means that I am less than 0. If I were to make a number line that goes like this, like a temperature or a thermometer with 0 in the middle, the ones above 0, these are greater. The ones below 0, these ones are less or smaller. And then, of course, we have 0 right in the middle. So if it's below 0, that would be a negative 30. So that number, the integer we're identifying, is negative 30. Okay, identify this integer for me. Paid $100 more. Paid $100 more. Well, 100 is the number that we're looking at, and more tells us that we're going to be bigger. Over here, 30 was our number, and below told us to go down. So more means plus or extra. So this would be an integer that looks like plus 100 or just a normal 100. Okay, 6th graders, time for your last set of try-its. Identify the integers for me. Identify the integer. So we're going to try it. Oops, where are we at? We did try it 1 here. So we're at try it number 2. And try it number 2 says $18 in debt. Debt means like you owe somebody something. So $18 in debt. And try it number 3 is a deposit of $50. Deposit means like you give the bank $50, like you put it into your own banking account. Okay, sixth graders, go ahead and hit pause right now so you can do these try-its. All right, so 18 is the integer. Debt means less, like I owe someone money. So that means that I am at negative 18. Okay, on this one, deposit. Ooh, I love payday. So a deposit into the bank of $50 means that 50 is my integer and I'm having an additional $50 or just plain 50. Remember, positive integers can be written like this or like this. Okay, sixth graders, it is your turn right now to tell me the answer to your essential question. What are integers? And then out to the side, tell me, how do you feel about integers? Where's your level of understanding so far about graphing and identifying on a number line where positive and negative numbers would be? All right, as always, thank you so much for all of your hard work and make it a great day the Cougar way.